welcome back to Embracing the Awkward. I am Connor Johnson.
And I'm Julia Gaffney.
Look at us. We are actually on track right now for doing at least one episode a month.
Woo-hoo.
Go us. Before we dive into it, I'm just going to throw a little teaser out there to maybe encourage you guys to listen all the way through. We may or may not have a promotion for you guys to do that may or may not be of benefit to you, but we will not explain said promotion until the end.
So cryptic.
With that, we are going to kind of go along the same path as our last episode. Last episode, we were kind of just talking about dance. This time, we're going to make it more just life in general, but specifically about confidence and having confidence or having the lack of confidence and where we may or may not struggle with that in life.
So, question number one. What?
To me?
Yes.
Oh. Fine.
You can ask the same question. What is your definition of confidence? What does confidence look like from your perspective?
Oh. I don't know if I could say what it looks like, because for me it's a feeling. People could, I guess there could be a definition of what does it look like, but just because you look confident doesn't mean you actually are confident. Because you would have the stereotypical person has good posture, is a social butterfly, talks to anyone and everyone, doesn't back down, isn't shy. But at the same time, that could just mean you're an asshole. Like, the two overlap quite nicely in that, like, you could either just be confident or you could be arrogant. And, like, I feel like it's a fine line of which one is it. So for me, it's more of a feeling. Like, do I feel good in my skin? Do I feel like I got this? Do I feel like whatever's put before me I can handle and know that I'm going to come out not just okay on the other side, but good on the other side? Like, if I feel like I can get out there and, like, conquer the world, like, for me that would be a very generic definition of confidence.
Okay. Do you feel like...
Hey, is it my turn to ask a question, or is this just 20 questions?
20 questions.
Because I'm going to throw it back at you.
Let's go.
What's your definition?
I think it is a feeling in some ways, but you also can't. If we only act based on our feelings, no one would ever get anything done, because if you don't feel like it, it's not going to happen. So sometimes you feel, I don't know how to say this. If you have feelings of insecurity and you push yourself or try to inspire yourself, like, oh my God, I'm really nervous for this job interview, or whatever the case may be, like pushing yourself through the fear, that's what confidence means to me.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does, because, like, for me, like, how I just heard that is my definition, like, more or less the flow of what you had is more of my definition of courage. Like, it's not that you aren't afraid, it's that you're going to push through the fear to do the thing that you're afraid to do. But I could see how that works with confidence as well. Like, the only way to, I don't want to say the only way to get confident, one of the ways to help with your confidence might be to do the thing repeatedly that you're not confident in, and the more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to feel doing it. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Kind of. If you... my tongue is tied. If you have any self-doubt or not, like, 100% stable in your self-worth, do you think you can still be confident? Like, if you are like, oh my God, I don't know if I can crush this job interview, but I'm going to give it my best, and then psych yourself up like, I've had this job, I've done this, I'm good at what I do, I can do this. Like, is that confidence, or is that just like psyching yourself up before the fight? Like, yeah, I can do it.
That's a good clarification. Because I would say there was a point in delineation. There was a point where you weren't confident, and then you gained your confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you weren't confident, like you were freaking out, you were insecure, but then you started to go through like a mental process, a physical process. Like, you did something to help flip that switch to then become confident. So maybe it's not necessarily a person is confident 100% of the time, but a person can, I won't say like trick themselves to be confident, but can put them into a confident mindset.
I think that's a key phrase though that you just said. Trick yourself into being confident, because our brains fake us out all the time. Like, oh my gosh, this is not safe, abort mission. Like, your brain will pull the emergency brake at the slightest thing. Like, most people's brains are overthinking, melodramatic protectors. And so I think you do have to trick yourself in a way, be it with affirmations of, this is what I can do, this is who I am, despite what my brain is saying, despite the fear in the back of my mind, this is who I really am, to like center and ground yourself so that you can do whatever is before you. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know.
Okay, so for me, confidence is more of a feeling. For you, it's a feeling. Oh, I want to say like, and a mindset.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Very
Which is
much
fair.
in your mind.
Which is fair.
Because so let me try to give an example and see if I can elaborate a little more. Many people experience physical self-consciousness, and if you are, great example. So I started school this week, and blah blah blah, long story short, I was late to class. So I walk in, and everyone's sitting there, and I'm the only person standing up, and the teacher's like, hi, what's your name? And in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, I'm the only person standing up. Everyone's looking at me. Everyone thinks I'm stupid. And so my mind was automatically like, this is not safe. You have to go to the bathroom now. But in my, I don't know where it is, in my heart, I guess, I was like, I'm not the only person who's ever been late to class in the history of education. Things happened outside of my control today. I'm going to tell her my name, find a seat, and try to focus on the lesson instead of being like, oh my God, I feel so stupid. Did I do a great job in that moment? No, I was still pretty embarrassed. It did make me feel better when other people were late after me. And then I was like, yes. But I really do think that confidence is a mind thing.
Put it this way, like, my goal with confidence would be to be in more situations like that and not feel like, in your definitions, the emergency brake is being pulled. I want to be able to get to the point where more times than not, I don't even feel like I have to reach for that emergency brake, subconsciously or consciously. Like, I want to get to the point where whatever comes my way, it's like, yep, that happened and I got this. Life goal. You had a second question though.
Let's see if I can remember it. Oh yeah, okay. So I was gonna ask about self-worth and your opinion of yourself, because I think that significantly impacts confidence. So I was asking if you if you have low self-worth or low self-esteem, or you don't have a high opinion of yourself, can you still be confident?
My quick answer, no.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm speaking out of like my own perspective. I have a very low opinion of myself. Like I'm very hard on myself, and I don't put a lot of value in myself, and therefore, like I do struggle with confidence a lot. So for me, those two are very closely tied, and so maybe there are people out there that aren't like me. What? Shocker. But for me, my self-worth, how I see myself, very closely ties in with my confidence level.
So, if that is then the root of our lack of confidence, which I would say for a lot of people, how you view yourself significantly impacts how other people view you. So, what I mean by that is, it's not a dancing episode, but I'm going to use dancing as an example. If I am unsure of myself, you can tell when you dance with me because my eyes are downward. I can't look you in the eye. I can't look up. It throws off my posture. It throws off everything else. When I am insecure in my dancing, you can see it in my posture, in my facial expression, in everything. And then that's how I present myself. If I'm not presenting myself as confident, then people aren't going to be like, yeah, she's confident, because that's not how I'm presenting myself.
I'm going to throw a wrench into it.
Okay.
Because we have talked before, and we have talked about how I do struggle with confidence severely, but then you do bring up that people at dance actually think I have a lot of confidence.
So let's talk about visualization for a second, or fake it till you make it. So there is some validity in that because that's why vision boards and visualizing is so important if you have a life coach or a counselor or whatever, because your mind cannot distinguish between an imagined memory and a real one. So that's why visualizing, if you visualize yourself in that corner office, doing the best at your job, getting that promotion, it really helps you get there to picture what you want and where you want to be in your head and keep that as a focal point and incentive in your mind of like, I see myself winning a dance competition or getting the promotion or asking someone out or whatever it is. Picturing that and helping you focus and make that your goal, I think really helps. It's kind of like studying. Mm-hmm. Like when you are focused on one thing, it can help you learn it. I think I went around in a circle. What did you say? Sorry.
Because initially, like where I was going with that.
Oh, visualization.
Yeah, go for it.
Sorry, before I lose it. So you were saying people perceive you as confident. So visualizing, faking it till you make it. So if you are like, whether you really are feeling good about what you're wearing, how you're dancing, whatever, I think you personally present yourself in a way that you do that. Like you fake it till you make it, or fake it till you become it. And we've talked about this before.
For everyone who can't see, I have a very dumbfounded look on my face.
Okay, so I'm gonna say it. When I met Connor 5 years ago, I thought he was a douche, and he's grown a lot. But
so
I think
I was a douche. Oh,
no.
Okay.
You've grown a lot. But I think the difference between when I met you,
It's a very nice way of saying yes.
I still love you. When I first met you to now, I think the difference was in your attitude of like when I met you, you were like, I know everything, and this is the way the world works, and this is the way religion is, and like I know more than you do. Like you were, you were a know-it-all, and I think that's what made you were 100% confident about your faith, about other things. You were like, this is the way it is, but you can be confident and still be wrong.
This is true.
And I think now you are not a douche because you have an air of humility, and like you still present yourself with like you did get a promotion at work and you are doing your best, but in that like you do check yourself sometimes where you're like, can I do it? Okay, I can do it. I don't know if I can do it. Yes, I could do, like I'm not saying it the way I want to say it. Like you still have doubt, but you push yourself and you get like you get there. In my mind, you are confident because you move past the checking. You're like, should I pull the brake? Nah, I think I'm okay. I can do it. And I think that is helping you achieve greater confidence.
Huh. Because I would say I'm still so not confident. Yes, I will do the thing, whatever the thing is, but inside, like, I am dying. Like, I feel like a 15-year-old kid who doesn't belong where they are and is just a fraud, and sooner or later people are going to find out. Like, that is me internally, like, almost always.
Do you think that has anything to do with your self-worth?
Yes.
Okay. Next question. I'm not
Apparently
judging you.
Therapy?
No.
Therapy lesson?
I'm not judging you because I literally, my boyfriend was almost laughing at me because someone came up to me and was like, oh my gosh, you're such a good dancer. How do you warm up? Do you do hip hop? Like, what's your routine? Like, and I was like, I don't have any of that. Like, I was so flabbergasted, I literally didn't say words. I was just like, I don't know. Like, but she's like trying to compliment me. But I was so unsure of myself that when someone complimenting me literally threw me off. Like, I was like, I don't know what to do. And it's not even like an awkward situation where I feel stupid or embarrassed. Like, she's trying to compliment me and I can't do it. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. It makes me uncomfortable.
I do not. I also struggle taking compliments.
Why is that? How do you get to the point of valuing yourself enough that you can be bold enough to reach for confidence? If that makes sense. Because in one way, I think we fake ourselves out mentally because we're like, well, I'm not worthy of this. Like, I don't deserve that. I don't deserve first place. I don't deserve that promotion. I don't deserve to be with that person. So you dismiss it all in your brain before you've even tried. Mm-hmm. Like, how do we stop that? I don't know.
For me, put it that way, because maybe this isn't everyone, but for me, I feel like the root of the problem is self-worth. And if I can start to actually look at myself and see value, not in like an arrogant way of like I'm better than everyone, but from a standpoint of like you are valuable just as like who you are because of who you are. Like, if I could actually feel like I am worth something, maybe confidence will just be a natural outflow from that. But then the question is like chicken or the egg. Like, do I fake it till I make it with confidence, and then that slowly helps with the self-worth, or do I focus like I need therapy?
How does that make you feel?
Like a 15-year-old boy. case in point, like, so a good example, dance, naturally. Um, I was at a lesson one day, you were there too, and we were doing, like, we were just working on walking, and like, walk with a hip hop style, now walk
Oh.
with a waltzy feel, now walk like you're goofy, and like the last one was walk like you're confident. And then like what they were doing was they were like, okay, think about a moment in your life where you felt confident, where you felt good, where you felt like I got this. And they're like, and then take that and put it into your walk and just walk like that. And I literally sat there, I'm like, I got no moment. I can't think of anything. And I actually started tearing up. And I'm like, nope, breathe it in, like you got this, just like don't cry.
Oh.
Don't cry. And like so I just walked trying to hold it in, got to the other side, and then later you were like, I'm so proud of you, you look so good. And I'm like, I'm dying inside right now.
Baby.
That is my life.
What would a confident moment in your life look like for you personally? Like,
That's a good question.
I did this. This is how this interaction went with this person. This, like, specifically, talk me through it.
So we're going with an actual moment, not a feeling.
Whichever is your confidence. Like, if this thing happened, if XYZ happened, you would be like, that's my confident moment. What is involved in that XYZ?
It's a good question. I honestly don't know. Like I have an example in my mind, but as I'm thinking of the example, I'll explain. I'm like, but that's not the. I don't want my confidence and my self worth to get pulled from this area because all it's gonna do is set me up for downfall later. Um, I'm gonna take a few steps back now to get to this where I'm at now because I feel like this is gonna better explain. With dance, originally my goal was like, okay, I'm gonna get out of novice as quickly as possible and get to intermediate. I'm gonna get out of intermediate as quickly as possible and get to advanced because once I get to advanced, I feel like that's where I'm gonna find my self worth. That's where I'm gonna find my value. That's where I'm gonna know like I've made it. And that destroyed me so much because anytime competition came around, my mood, my feeling of worthlessness would tank if things didn't go well. And I just saw how much of a slave I was to the outcome that it was just destroying me. And I was like, okay, I need to reassess. I need to refigure out what my goal is because this is destroying me. This is not healthy. And so I reassessed, and now like competition doesn't like I don't want to say it doesn't affect me, period, but it definitely has a significantly smaller part to deal with. Like, how is my weekend at this competition going? Like, as long as I feel like I did my best, I'm good with whatever the outcome is. Like, yeah, there's a little bit of like a dang it, like it would have been nice, but then I can brush it off and move on. So that's good. Progress. Woo! The problem is, and this is tying into now what would make me feel like successful, like what would make me feel confident, is this is gonna sound so terrible, but like I would love it, and that like this is again I need to reprioritize because this is not where I want to be, but it's where I am. So I'm gonna be honest. I would love to get to the point in dance where someone who's an all-star, someone who's advanced, actually seeks me out to dance with me. Is like, I love dancing with you, I want to dance with you more. Like, that would make me feel like I've made it. That would make me feel like, even if I'm not technically at that level, if I am being sought out by people who are, that would give me my validation. So in all honesty, that's where I'm at right now. I don't want that to be my validation because it destroys me when I do dance with someone who's higher up and I'm like, oh, I effed that up. Or I see on their face like, that wasn't that good. Like it destroys me. And like, so just like how doing poor in competition affected me, that now will dictate, am I having a good night or not? On top of that, there are times on the dance floor where I will be seeking someone out to dance with, and I will see them purposely try to avoid me, and that also is like a dagger to the heart. And I don't want that. Like they have every right to like say no to me, because if we are forced to say yes to everyone, well, A, we will never get the joy out of the fact that someone said yes. But B, like, we want to have an environment where it is okay to say no. Like, don't, on one hand, like, don't be a dick and only dance with people at your level, because it's like we've all been there. We've all been at the lower level. But at the same time, I need to make sure that my validation, my confidence isn't dictated off of that. So again, like, I still need to reprioritize and figure out, like, where does my worth come from? Because I don't want my worth to be dictated off of someone else, because I will be on a roller coaster ride for the rest of my life. That was a very long answer.
But it answers my question. I'm proud of you, buddy. That makes sense to me. Is there any other area of your life in which you could feel confident if a specific thing happened other than dance? And I'm asking for a specific reason, but I need you to go with it. Like work, family, anything else?
I guess a time where like it's endorphins is what it is, but like when I do a project, if it's building something, if it's, I'll just go with construction. Like if I set out to build my kitchen or lay my wood floor or build a dance floor or whatever, like if I set out and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a big undertaking, but like, let's do it. Like when that is finished and I can step back and look at it and be like, this looks good. Like I do get the endorphin rush of like, I freaking did it. Does that answer your question?
Yes. I was asking because I feel like dancers are harder on themselves because dancing is so personal and we are literally being judged on our bodies and the way we move. Like that is a way higher level of like confidence than just like everyday normal interactions, if that makes sense. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like
it does become more personal. Yeah. I would I'm gonna say it, but I might take it like just go with it.
Okay.
Like, it might not be at like 100% apples to apples, but like I would kind of put it in the same category of like if a guy goes up to a girl to try and ask him out, or if a girl goes up to a guy to ask him out, like it's still the same vulnerability of I'm putting myself out there and I could get rejected.
I get that. Okay, so what I was trying to
You're trying to walk me to something and I'm not getting there.
It's fine. It's fine.
You're like, come
I
on,
got
Connor,
a carrot over here.
You can do it. You can do it.
Yes, with relationships, there's an added level of vulnerability, and with dancing as well. But I asked if there was anything like in your job or apart from that, because I think there's two different battles with confidence, and one of them is, am I good enough for others, or am I good enough for me? And I think my struggle is I'm not good enough for me. And so that's why That's what I wanted to ask you. Is it that you're not good enough for others, or you're not good enough for yourself that is affecting your confidence? It could be both.
It is
but-
both.
okay.
Because, where was it? I was out to lunch with my mentor, and he had said something along the lines of like self-worth and stuff like that, and I was realizing how little self-worth I actually had, and like I did start to cry because I was like, gotta fix that. I don't know how to fix that, but I gotta fix that. Bless you.
Excuse me.
So it is both. Like I seek validation externally, which isn't healthy, but it's easier if it works. Life goal would be to find self-worth internally, but also not just internally. What's the word I want to say? Like I want it to be intrinsic. Like it's not like I have to earn my self-worth by I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and like I'm happy with the goals I'm setting and making. But it doesn't have to be dictated off of anything other than just my intrinsic value as a human being, as like made in God's image, like who I am just for the fact of me being a human being is where my value should be, and knowing that should be enough. Like that would be my ultimate goal, is to be able to feel worthy, not because I did X, because I did Y, because I did Z, but because it's just intrinsic to who I am and who we are in general. That's enough about me. How about you?
No.
What are...
I was going to say, I agree with the fact that you said you're human and you have inherent value as a human, regardless of the color of your skin or your actions matter a little bit, but like you're a human. You're like
actions matter from the standpoint of integrity, from the standpoint of
yes.
other things, from the standpoint of value.
Yes.
I would say no.
So I agree with that, and that's why everyone should be treated with honor and dignity and respect, because you are a person, regardless of your gender or anything else. You matter because you're alive and you're a human. We've talked about this. I don't agree with the religious part because I'm not pursuing religious things, but that human value, I think that is a good point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it doesn't need to, like, obviously it's going to tie into my faith for me personally, but I think we will end up in the same spot if you're coming from faith or not. Like, on both sides of it, we can find value in humanity just because of humanity. Like, we can find everyone valuable, and like the end is the same, but we maybe are getting there from two different paths. Which, if my parents were listening to this, they'd be pissed that I'm saying this, but I'm like, but that's more important to me. From a world perspective, is how are we treating each other? Like, I would love it if everyone shared my faith, but at the same time, let's be honest, that's not going to happen. And I would rather see people of different faiths still treating each other well and with respect and love than to have people of the same faith still treating each other poorly.
That makes sense.
Okay, that, again, enough about me. Your turn.
I don't.
I'll start with a very loaded question, but easy question. Would you say you are a confident person?
No. So, Um, I'm very confident when it comes to others. I'm a big advocate for others. I can stand up for other people in a heartbeat. When it comes to myself, because I'm not as important as other people in my brain, I don't advocate for myself, stand up for myself, value myself in order to create that confidence. I think I have glimmers of confidence sometimes, but there's nothing consistent about it. Like I haven't pinpointed when I do this, when I affirm myself, do these things, then like I cannot switch my confidence on and off. I'm trying really hard to change it, but it is really hard. So like I mentioned when I was late, feeling embarrassed and being like, oh my God, everyone's gonna think I'm stupid, no one's gonna be my friend, like taking it to the extreme of like, no one has said these things are not confirmed or valid, they're just random thoughts in my anxious brain. I did calm down. Like by the end of class, I was like, I'm okay. I got this. Like it's okay. Like sometimes I have a peak freak out, and then I'm like, okay, like I am strong. I am powerful. I am going to kick butt. Like, and sometimes that helps, and sometimes it doesn't. But I try to be consistent in doing that. There are times that I think my confidence is just so low and I can't do anything about it, and I just like spiral hard downwards, and I'm just like, why am I here? Why did I think I could do this? Why am I trying? Why I'm so stupid? Like I can't. And then I just lose it. It's a little more difficult to bounce back from those moments.
You did say that there are glimmers.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give an example of one of those glimmers?
I'm trying to steer clear of dance, but it's hard. It's really hard, guys. So at Swingtime in the Rockies, which was in July, I did novice Jack and Jill, and I also did a novice intermediate strictly. So for Jack and Jill's, that's the competition where you get a random partner and you get what you get and you don't throw a fit and see how it goes. The strictly is where you get to choose your partner and then you dance with that person for all of your songs. So I chose a partner for the strictly. I was super nervous because I had danced with this partner like maybe 4 times before we strictly together, and he is a great dancer, but I was so freaking nervous. Like my hands are shaking. I'm just like, and so we had like a come to Jesus meeting before we competed, and my partner is also a dance instructor, and so he was talking about how he was also nervous because he's the one who calms people down before a performance, before a competition. He's not used to being anxious because he's usually the leader. So in this situation, in a dance that he's less familiar with, he was like, I'm nervous too. And like, we had a powwow about like, oh my God, I'm nervous too. This is what I do when I'm nervous. This is what I do when I'm nervous. And then after we had that talk, we danced so well together. So well together. That was some of our best dances. And I think for both of us, admitting our insecurities and being like, hey, I am not 100% confident in this, and acknowledging like, it's okay to have nerves. Like, trying to bottle it up and feeling alone in it made it a lot worse. But after sharing that, like, we were so good. Like we crushed it. And I think for me that also helps in everyday life to hear if you tell me, hey, I'm really struggling with this, I don't feel confident in this. I can be there to support you, and it also helps me feel better about being open and vulnerable to know I'm not the only person in the world who feels stupid sometimes. Like, I'm not the only person in the world who gets embarrassed or who takes it really hard if someone doesn't want to dance with you, or takes it really hard if you ask someone to have coffee with you and they say no. That's a second podcast topic. But my goal is to not care what people think without being an asshole. Like, I want to be like...
It's like not being an asshole is a good goal.
But even in trying new things, I've been trying to find a new hobby, and I've tried piano lessons and voice lessons and different dance classes and golf. And when
She's doing pretty good at golf. FYI.
When I swing and I miss, I feel like an idiot. And then I feel like, oh my God, the 50 guys that are standing behind me all lining up in this direction are all watching me just be like, whoa, and I feel stupid. But doing a check internally to say, why am I doing this? Am I doing this because I want to show off and impress guys? Like, no. I'm doing this because I like
That's
it.
What I'm doing.
It feels.
I'm trying to show off and impress guys.
You're well on your way. I'm doing this because it is so stinking satisfying to just crack the ball and watch it soar, because I enjoy it, because it helps me decompress. And so to go through my mental checkpoints of like, this is for me. I don't care what you think. Yes, I feel silly, but I got to start somewhere. And trying to hit the ball again, even though I want to go hide under a pillow. I'm trying to push past the self-consciousness that wants to pull that emergency brake and be like, nope, now it's done. Don't do it again. And push myself to try and to not care, but also not be like, I know everything. I don't care what you think. But I'm trying. I'm learning. It's not going to be perfect, but I'm going to do it anyway, because this is for me. This is who I am. This is what I want. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Did I give you an example of that? I think I did.
No, you're good. That was good. We are at 43
45
minutes. Anything else
No.
you would like to get out there?
We might do a part 2
Oh, there definitely.
on like how to achieve it, because we haven't.
Hmm.
No, we've what? We've thoroughly discussed that.
We'll bring in. At least I'll speak for myself. We'll bring in someone who is much smarter and wiser than myself, and maybe has training to help us answer the question of how do we actually get better.
I have someone in mind, but she's also a dancer.
That's fine.
All right. So maybe a guest on our next episode. For September, we are doing a raffle. So all of our followers on Facebook, on our website, on YouTube, we would like you guys to leave us some comments about what our next topic will be for, I'm going to say October. So if you guys comment on our Facebook page, we're going to look through all of those, and we will choose, depending on how good your ideas are, we'll choose 1 to 3 topics, and there will be a prize for first, second, and third place. We're going to be giving away some gift cards for $25, possibly more.
$25.
And possibly some other merch. So Please leave us your ideas and make it good, because then we can make it good.
All right, I think that was good.
Oh, so yes, get your ideas into us in the month of September, and by October 1st, we will announce which topics we're going to do, and then one of those topics can be for October.
I like it. Awesome. Thanks everyone for listening. And yeah, we will be back next month.
Stay awkward.